children of the night. What music they make. They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Welcome to the first October 2024 episode of Final Guys. It is October 1st. We are in the happy season for losers like us. I'm very pumped. I'm Jason Brandt, joined as always by Hunter Schaefer, Jackham PC.
Hello! Hunter Schaefer's the person who stars in our movie tonight.
Oh, I was like, okay.
And it has a name suspiciously like one of our colleagues.
Who is absent tonight. And Lutsky went with the clever name of Lutsky.
Cuckoo, Cuckoo.
Very nice. And tonight we are reviewing the movie Cuckoo, which I accidentally read as Cuckoo a couple of weeks ago. So I will
That's right.
be referring to it as
Whole
that.
different kind of movie.
Yeah, that's the kind Hunter wanted to watch, but we were all like, I don't think we can do that. And that's why he's not here, because he watched Cuckoo instead. But as always, we're going to go over horror news and what we watched and all this crap before we get to the main feature. Do you guys have any announcements or anything before we get to shit show?
I've got a brief one, yeah. I just received this in the mail. It is I don't think anyone in here would be interested in this at all. This is but I thought I'd share it anyway. This is the Czech Republic edition of The Pale White. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it's put out by Gold Dog or something like that. Golden Dog.
That's cool, man.
Out of Czechoslovakia. And yeah, this is it's got a cool cover on it and no illustrations or anything like that. But yeah, it's freaking tiny. It's real tiny. And they sent me a bunch of bookmarks with it too and stuff.
Now,
they have the cover on it. So
did you have anything to do with the process, or did the book just come out?
Well, no, I mean, they asked, if, and then I signed a contract and stuff. But
yeah.
But no. They sent me the cover and they said, "Will this work for you?" And I said, "Yes." And I think what they did is, Crystal Lake Publishing paid for a commission for the original paperback cover, and then I did a hardcover edition, and I think that they saw that, and this is supposed to be kind of like a take on that, because it's got a girl flipping it off and three girls on here, and that's how I got it on the other one. So great. Anyway, that's my announcement. If you're interested Google Golden Dog, The Pale White, Lutsky. I don't know.
Who needs to answer their cell phone?
That's me. I'm muting now.
I like how he's like, he has this thing and he's like, you guys won't care about it. Like just painting us as these heartless bastards.
He's not wrong.
Well, no, I meant like no one's gonna. I mean, if you order this, I mean, what are you gonna do with it? Nobody can read that.
Well, but I don't even care that you had a translation. That's really cool. Yeah. I've never had one.
Yeah, I got a handful, and that's pretty cool. I think there's another one coming out for something, but I don't remember what country. Germany.
I had one lined up in Germany, and they were working on it, and then they went out of business, and never got it. So that was great. So, Jack,
same thing happened to me.
You guys are going crazy over on Monster Men.
We are. We had our today is October 1st, so we had to get out our annual 31 days of Halloween or 31 nights of Halloween watch list that we roll with the game of a book of the same name. So if you are looking for old favorites and stuff you've never heard of all in one list, check it out. And if you want, get a copy of the book. But go check out the episode. Let us know. Sheila, our good friend here, every year she watches our whole list. And Hunter and I don't even watch our actual list.
That's hardcore.
She's the best.
I did my unboxing on Sunday. It went over right at 4 hours long. So long my camera died. And I was showing you guys, but I have 3 stacks of movies like this that I got. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with all these, but everybody went absolutely crazy. It's too bad Hunter's not here because I got so many Bigfoot movies that look horrifically bad that he's probably seen them and could tell me if I should watch them or not. But so it was a weekend. Alrighty. Before we jump into the news, who wants to read some drinking words? Nobody.
I was muted. I will do it.
Okay.
If you hear Jack say Hunter half pregnant, then drink. Hunter's not here, so we'll mix his with the bonus words. If you hear Jason say half hotel conspiracy, if you hear me say mute, bird, or accent, and the bonus words are German sister nest and Steven's horror October.
I love these emojis he always fits in there.
Yeah, little crows.
That's beautiful.
Cuckoo birds, I guess.
Alrighty, if no one else has anything to say, then let's jump into Jack Campese's award-winning news segment. It's the news. Yay!
This news is brought to you by Hunter Shea's absence.
His what?
His what?
Absence.
Oh.
Absence. Oh.
That's funny.
Yeah, he says it's his daughter's birthday, but the Mets are playing in the playoffs tonight. So
No.
Yeah, it's amazing that he always forgets something until the night before. Yeah, weird.
they didn't know they were in the playoffs until yesterday. So
Oh, that
right after
dirty
they won
bastard.
game one, suddenly, hey guys, it's my daughter's birthday. I can't go.
Oh, I did not know this. All right.
Sorry. This news Hunter Shea would actually appreciate. Often the news talks about remakes, and this is no different. But this one might not irk us as much. Micah Monroe has been booked to be the star of a remake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Oh,
The Rebecca De Mornay, what is it, 1992 thriller.
I remember
32
enjoying
years
that
ago.
movie.
Jesus.
I like those crazy guy or crazy neighbor, or crazy single white female type stuff. I like that stuff. They're just like cheap thrills for me.
Now, I don't mind this one getting remade, even though this one is kind of a staple of the genre. Like, you look at that and Single White Female and a couple of others. Those are kind of like the template.
I get those mixed up in my mind because I
Yeah.
haven't seen them in 25 years.
So, like, people will just use that as a term, like, oh, it's a hand that rocks the cradle situation. But I also think that's one of those ones that I'm not sure how many young people are going back and watching that. I think that's one that everybody over a certain age saw when they've had cable for the first time.
Yeah.
But so I think, and Micah Monroe adds a legitimacy to the thing. So I'm down for it.
I don't mind this remake. It's not like that was an all-time great. And honestly, is that one people revisit often? Like, I haven't heard anything about that movie in so long.
Right.
You know, like, that's sure. And she's good.
Whatever happened to De Mornay?
Well, I mean, she was famous at the time when you hit 30. Hollywood just threw you out the window. So
Yeah. Didn't you see The Substance?
yeah, she got substanced for sure.
Huh.
I mean, that's what happened to Barbara Crampton.
Let me tell you, I think Rebecca De Mornay was one of those chicks that every guy has, like, that, oh yeah, that crush. That
Yeah.
She always reminded me of Tracy Lords.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, I can see that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she started a family and quit. Maybe she just got older and
She was in, do you ever see that Three Musketeers where Kiefer Sutherland and Charlie Sheen and
about the last time I saw Hand That Rocks the Cradles when I saw that.
she's the queen in that.
She's in the Shining TV series.
That's
which is
right.
Clearly,
Yep.
that she
That's the
probably
last time I
retired
saw her in
after
anything.
that.
My favorite thing about that movie.
Yeah, she probably figured that's the pinnacle of her career. I might as well go out on top.
She said, they're going to do one last movie for Tim Meyer, and then I'm calling it quits. Speaking of things that Hunter Shea might care about, James Wan. I've heard rumors about this happening, but it looks like it's actually happening. James Wan is remaking Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
Now, a long time ago, I'd heard Scarlett Johansson being connected to this, but I don't think she is anymore. I think that might have been when they were rebooting the monster universe, whatever they were.
Oh, yeah.
But they have hired a writer for this. It's a guy named Sean Tretta, who wrote the TV series 12 Monkeys for Sci-Fi and Mayans, which was a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy. So I'd heard about this a long time ago and didn't realize it was still a thing. So Creature from the Black Lagoon. Hunter's a big creature. He just got a Creature from the Black Lagoon tattoo on Friday the 13th. So
are we going to get the James Wan that did, what was that insane movie?
Malignant.
Malignant. Are we going to get that kind of Creature from the Black Lagoon? Because I'm on board with that.
I think one of the best makeup effects that nobody really ever talks about is the Creature from the Black Lagoon from the Monster Squad is tremendous.
Yeah, that is really good. You're right.
So if they can do that,
will we get the scene from the Academy Award winning not Creature from the Black Lagoon where a woman bangs it? Because
you can only hope.
That was something.
Didn't see it.
That was fine.
Yeah. And our final piece of news. I don't think anybody has watched this, but I heard good things about it. The Chucky TV series on Sci-Fi got canceled.
Yay.
I don't know a single person that's ever watched that, but I heard it was good online.
I heard it was good. It was 3 seasons, and it was always on my to-do list. I was like, someday I'm going to watch that Chucky show. And they are kind of hoping that some other cable or whatever streaming platform picks it up, which I wouldn't be surprised. The way streaming places are now, everybody's just scrambling for content. So
yeah,
Chucky may rise again, but for now he's taking a break.
I wonder how many of these streaming networks are just going to get completely canceled or bought up and folded into another one. Like Epix is now in MGM Plus or something. Like,
yeah.
How long can these last? I mean, who subscribes to this crap?
No, it's ridiculous. And the more they put the hammer down on these things, like when I'm like at my mother's house and I'm trying to log into my Netflix and they're like, no, you're not at your home address. You can't watch your. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm spending how much a month for this crap and I can't watch it if I'm not sitting in my own house? Screw you.
That's why I spent the zero. Actually, it has nothing to do with why I canceled Netflix, but it makes me feel better about my decision.
But you could fill in your platform, like,
Yep.
Yeah. And then there's Tubi. All the gold for free. With just a few commercials.
Well, like I spent $5 on Peacock and I still get ads. And I'm like,
yeah.
Insane.
What?
Yeah, you gotta pay, you gotta double that. If you don't want your ads.
Well, freaking Amazon Prime are getting ads now. So
I am so close to canceling my Amazon Prime. Like I'm so close. And it was the ads on the videos thing that I'm just like,
I do ad for the shipping, so
that's how I started, but I order a lot less than I used to. So because people send me shit like Relic, so I don't have to buy as much.
the fact that I can just be like, oh, you name whatever it is. Oh, I can have that here by tomorrow. Cool,
Yeah, I just the videos with the ads thing just really chat my ass.
Oh yeah,
because that stupid Lord of the Rings show that nobody watches costs so much money that they have to feed us all ads to pay for it. It's like, kiss my ass. Damn it.
I am watching that Lord of the Rings show, and I got to tell you, I don't know anybody's name besides like 2 or 3 characters in that.
You're in the 2nd season?
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, there's that guy and that. Everybody's name is like a little. It's like I read the original Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Love those books. Could never read any of the other stuff, or the appendix, and half of it was because the elf names were just Bloodborne. I was like, okay, enough.
So what is this? Is this like Silmarillion the series or something?
It draws from stuff like that, so it's all about the rings being made. So it's like Sauron's rise to power.
I watched the trailer and I was like, nope, I am good. If that's the best part, like, no, I'm good.
Anyway, that's all the news that fit the print, my friends.
Alrighty. Let's talk about the crap we started watching for the Halloween season.
We have such sights to show you.
Chad, what crap did you find on Tubi?
Well, first of all, I'm over here just trying to figure out what in the world an old cowboy looks like. I don't have any idea, but I guess I look like an old cowboy, or I'm trying to look like one. So,
if you put a cowboy hat on like this, you'd kind of look like Sheridan's profile picture.
Okay. All right. So, ironically, and I didn't do this on purpose, both of the movies that I watched over on Tubi, older movies, take place in the main houses are funeral homes. Didn't do that on purpose. So we'll start with the first one. It's called Funeral Home from 1980. It's on Tubi. It's also called Cries in the Night. A teenage girl spends the summer with her grandma. She just shows up at the beginning of the movie, and after that, people start turning up missing. Grandma's place is an inn now, but it used to be a funeral home, which doesn't come into play in the movie at all, despite the movie being called Funeral Home. So that was pretty disappointing. I don't understand. It could have never been a funeral home at one point, and the movie would still be the same. There's a couple small references, a couple coffins in the basement that don't come into play, just, crap like that. This chick right there, she does a little investigating with a local hunk, and more obnoxious people die like her with the perm.
She does? The woman on the right here? No bra camel toe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
More obnoxious people die in the meantime. It's a slow whodunit slasher with the most exciting scene being the reveal at the end, which is nothing more than a gender swap psycho ripoff. This movie is.
That girl looks a little like the chick in Animal House and Caddyshack. There was like the dean's daughter with the.
Oh yeah. Okay, I don't remember
it's Maggie from Caddyshack.
This would have made maybe a decent made-for-TV movie, like in the 70s, or if it were marketed as a thriller and given a different name, so you weren't like, oh, cool funeral home, But to give it the name Funeral Home, just because the inn was once a funeral home, feels like clickbait, as the kids say. So, other than scratching an early 80s, very early 80s nostalgic itch, I'd pass on this. It did nothing for me but make me scratch my head. Yeah, not a fan. Psycho ripoff that's slow and boring.
Wow. Okay. Jack, did you get anything better?
I watched Apartment 7A.
Oh, I almost watched this.
The prequel. Jason, I was thinking of you so bad on this.
That's why I didn't watch it.
The prequel to Rosemary's Baby with Julia Garner, who's the redneck chick from Ozark. And I tell you what, she's a great actress. It was so weird watching her not be an angry redneck. It was like, oh, wow, that's not how she actually talks. So this is, it takes, I don't know I forget what they call it in the movie, but it's filmed the Dakota where John Lennon lived in New York City. So this is who was there before Rosemary, and it's actually one of the characters who's briefly in Rosemary's Baby is the main person in this movie. She's a dancer trying to make it in the big city, and she ends up meeting the old couple from Rosemary's Baby, who are played by different actors and actresses, and moves into the building. And then, Jason, pretty much the same exact thing happens to her that happens to Rosemary, except she's single.
So it's kind of a remake.
It's a rehash. If you saw Rosemary's Baby, you already know the ending of this. But it's noteworthy for a couple of reasons. Diane Wiest, who was the mother in Lost Boys and many other movies, she plays the Ruth Gordon role from Rosemary's Baby, the old woman neighbor, the sinister.
Yeah.
And so the two people who play that couple, Kevin McNally, I think is the guy. If it was a Saturday Night Live skit, you'd be like, "Oh my God, those two are nailing those parts," especially her. But there's not a whole lot of horror action going on. If you've seen Rosemary's Baby, you already know what's happening. Like, it's just one of those, like, everything that you hate about sequels or prequels, you get in this movie.
What a waste of time. What a waste.
Like, so maybe if you're younger and you've never seen Rosemary's Baby, then this will be new to you and probably worth watching. Especially if you're younger and you don't appreciate older movies. Rosemary's Baby had that grainy, I don't know how it was filmed, 35 millimeter or whatever, but I felt like you were really in New York City in an apartment. I don't know when they were using sets and when they weren't in Rosemary's Baby, because I felt like everything was really in an apartment building happening. This, I feel like I'm watching a movie on sets, with high def cameras and things like that. So,
God damn it.
I wish people would wake up and just not. Of course, now you're part of the problem, Jack, because you paid for it or rented it or watched it or streamed it or whatever.
It was on Paramount Plus.
And just refuse to watch these. So they're if everybody could come together and just do that, refuse to watch any like remakes or prequels or any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you're taking shots at me, but I'm the guy out there on the wall taking one for the team, warning everybody else not to watch this movie. So deep down inside, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
No, I don't. I don't want anybody watching these.
I got Nobody. It, Jack.
I know. He's no fun. I'm going to give him a...
What's weird about this one is that Rosemary's Baby isn't in the title in any way. So a lot of people might not know this is a remake / prequel of it.
Like Chad, I think that might be it. This is... You're exactly right what you're saying. They're putting it out there, and if nobody watched it, they're also just putting it out there for new content. And I think a lot of it's going to be just, if my sister watched this, if she ever saw, she knows about Rosemary's Baby, but never saw it. So if her and her husband were like, "Oh, let's watch this tonight," they would have no idea.
They'd be like, "Oh, that was a decent movie."
Yeah, like people who are in horror podcasts, we're all like, "What the hell is this?" But again, my sister also would never watch a horror movie like this anyway. So I don't know.
It's strange. It's a strange decision.
Out of the hundreds and hundreds of remakes, we can probably all count on one or two hands the ones that were like worthy. Like in some of them are super obvious, just like The Thing and The Fly. Like they're so far reserved. Other ones maybe not or less so. Like Dawn of the Dead remake, I thought was good.
The Shining.
Well, I saw somebody, I forget who it was, somebody on Twitter or some review, who had said if they had taken this movie and told us the story of how that older couple got into the satanic cult and you followed their journey to ending, how did this community of devil worshippers end up with this?
That's what I thought you were going to start talking about when you said prequel.
Yeah, no, this is just The Tenant before Rosemary.
That's so stupid.
Wow.
Oh, God. Oh, who comes up with these ideas, man? That's so funny.
But Julia Garner, like, you watch it and you're just like, Wow, she's great. She does dancing.
She's a very good actress.
She's very good. So I will say there was some good to it, but not much.
Well, on the opposite end of a studio requel or whatever the hell they're called,
Rehash.
rehash.
That's what I'm calling it.
I watched a super indie movie called Beezel. I'm assuming it's super.
Oh,
indie
you
because-
saw this?
I did. It's all takes place in one house, so the budget has to be next to nothing. Okay, this one was a little frustrating for me because the first half of this is really freaking good. It takes place in different decades with footage from each decade of somebody recording crazy shit happening in this house. And every decade following it it explains more of what is going on in this house, that people are dying. There's this great sequence from the 80s with a VHS camcorder that is just phenomenal. And the acting is so good. So there's at least, the 3 first segments on different decades, all really good. Then the fourth one, the longest one, the quality, like, I don't want to say the quality, the acting and the writing fall off a cliff. This movie looks great the whole time, even at the end, like and the fourth segment's the longest one, so it's probably the last 35 minutes, something like that, 40 minutes. I wasn't timing it, but boy, it is not nearly as good. The characters are doing dumb shit that it's just like really hard to root for them. Like all these things are happening. It's one of those where you're like, why don't you just leave? Like, I don't even know why you're there, but why don't you just leave? And then one of the characters says, we should leave. And then they don't leave. And it's like one of those where you're just like, damn it. So I want to praise it because it looks great. It clearly had no money. Like, the direction in this is phenomenal. Some really cool scare sequences. Like, it's very well done. But the last half is really not nearly as entertaining. So having said that, I would really like to see something else from this director, maybe with a little more money, do another couple locations. But yeah, the ending keeps this from being like something I would tell a lot of people to watch. Instead, it's just kind of like cool to check out to see what you can do in a house, in a real location. And I'm guessing either the director or a producer or somebody owns this house because literally the entire thing is there. But typing sounds phenomenal.
Sorry.
It's an interesting film. Worth checking out, like for you guys. Like you might like seeing the first half, but
All of a
It's a
sudden,
little
like on Saturday, I started seeing reviews of this movie popping up different places. Like, what the hell? Where did this come from?
so I saw the IMDb rating is only a 4.4, and the first half I was like, how is this only a 4.4? This movie is so good. And then the last half I was like, oh, yeah, I get it. It sucks, but that's Beezel.
So it's
What
not
else?
main feature worthy.
No. Really, like for you guys to check out to see, like, oh, how'd they do this? Oh, that was kind of fun. Oh, all in one house, like that's interesting, but not something we'd want to go in depth on. So, all right, Chad, what you got?
No, it sucks. Okay, back over to Tubi, 1975. This is called Kiss of the Tarantula.
I've seen this movie.
A young girl named Susan lives at a family-owned mortuary with her funeral director father and adulterous mother, who, and this girl, Susan, she has a fascination with spiders. Very young, 8 or 9 years old or something. And whenever she gets caught playing with a spider or just being close to one and looking at, and looking at it, talking to her or whatever, her mom freaks out, goes mommy dearest on her. In the meantime, the mother is having an affair with her husband's brother, and they plan to kill her husband. The little girl overhears all this, so one night she sets a tarantula on her mom's arm while her mom sleeps, and despite us all knowing that tarantulas are far from deadly, this thing kills her mom anyway by scaring her to death. So
Nice.
fast forward into the chick's Susan, into her teen years, and she's got a basement full of tarantulas as pets because she's got an awesome dad who supports her. and she's in high school and still lives below this mortuary. One night she's picked on by some teens who appear to be pushing about 40 years old after and that's no lie. There's one of these guys that has got to be at least 35. And they sneak into her house apparently to steal a coffin, I guess, because they're trying to choose one. But to get there, they drove a Volkswagen Bug with a door that won't even open. So I'm not sure how they're going to steal this coffin. Anyway, they end up just hiding in there. And then when Susan comes, they scare her, grab her, force her down the stairs because they want to know what's down here. And they see the tarantulas, and they end up killing one. Then they take off because she shames them. It's hilarious. And this starts a killing spree filled with revenge using her spiders. Though, again, nobody is actually killed by the spider, but from panic. Like when she puts a bunch of her spiders into this Volkswagen Bug while these people are at a drive-in theater, all but one of them die. Because they're in there making out, two couples, and they cause this little riot inside the Volkswagen, and one chick ends up with a sliced throat, another guy is choked to death by the steering wheel, another with the broken neck trying to get out, and one girl is just left in a catatonic state. Her life's over now because spiders. So it's ridiculous. It's hilarious. It's great. Plenty of day for night shots. And sometimes they don't even try. It's just daylight, but it's in the middle of the night. Horrendous set designs. I swear they're using an abandoned building to film in this house, or abandoned house. And a creepy cop uncle who wants his niece big time. Gets really inappropriate with her. And the end is great. Very sinister. And you've got some wonderful scenes professionally shot in machine shops and next to waterfalls where dialogue is drowned out by the surroundings. Also,
sounds like something I'd watch.
Yeah. An odd number of Volkswagen Bugs are in this movie, to the point where I started to suspect whether Volkswagen would be thanked in the credits, and sure enough, they were. So, my wife and I watched this for Creepy Couch. The episode is up right now, and I guess I will take the time to state that we are at 800 subscribers. We need 200 more for the partnership program to be monetized. I'm at my wit's end with this stupid freaking channel. We were doing great. Then things slowed down for the last couple months. At this rate, we'll get the 200 in the next 6 months at some point. But if anybody's watching this right now or later, and you head over there and you check it out and you think you might like it, then we would love to have you subscribed. So, but if not, go see Kiss of the Tarantula on Tubi anyway, because it's pretty awesome.
I saw this movie reported on this as one of my movies for this a year or two ago.
Oh,
I love this movie. It was hilarious. If I recall, there is an amazingly cruel kill in this movie where I think somebody is paralyzed.
Yes.
And the girl lifts him with a coffin crane, puts him in the coffin, and then puts the body on top of the guy.
Yeah.
And then like buries him alive in the casket under another corpse.
This is what you get when you want to bone your niece.
Wow.
Yeah. Be warned.
Sounds like a pretty amazing movie, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, and he's right. Like look, I'm no fan of having spiders crawl on me, so I can relate to those people in the Bug. But it is kind of funny how they just like have heart attacks and stuff from.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
beautiful.
Especially the panic in the Volkswagen where everyone ends up dead is hilarious.
Isn't there a duct like a?
Yes, dude gets strapped in the duct and dies. What's funny is the last shot of him, because you don't know how he dies until later, but the last shot of him is through a vent that's right next to. He looks toward the vent, and he's screaming. And when we find out later, he died from suffocation. But he's in this vent, and
He's in an air
he's in
vent.
he's in a duct, but his mouth is right by this giant vent where we can see his whole head and neck and everything.
Beautiful.
It's great. It is definitely so bad it's good.
All right. I'll have to check this out. Jack, what you got?
Well, next week the new Salem's Lot is coming out, so I said, "Hey, I better watch a vampire movie this week to get myself fired up."
Do your
So-
homework, yeah.
I was like, I don't really want to pay for a movie, so I started looking around, and I said, you know what I haven't seen since around 1988 is Fright Night Part 2, the sequel to the original Fright Night with Roddy McDowell and what the heck is his name? The guy who played Charlie Brewster. And I saw that movie once in my life, wasn't a big fan, and so I watched it once, and here we are 30 something years later. And it's on YouTube. So like, hey, I'm going to watch Fright Night Part 2.
Oh, you found it on YouTube? Because I had looked for this years ago and it wasn't available anywhere.
Yeah, there it is, sitting there on YouTube. So, so in this one, Charlie, it's like a couple of years after Fright Night. Charlie's been going to like a psychiatrist, and through his therapy, has convinced himself that everything that happened in Fright Night was just a figment of his imagination, and that vampires aren't real. So he's not really hanging around with Peter Vincent anymore. But he does go visit Peter Vincent, and coincidentally, a beautiful woman and her entourage are moving into the building that Peter Vincent lives in. And guess what? She's a vampire.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, she is played by a stunning woman named Julie Carmen. And it turns out she's Jerry Dandridge's sister, of course. So she's there for revenge on Charlie. So basically, Charlie's getting seduced by this vampire and falling into her web. And his girlfriend, Darcy, from Married with Children, is not in it. It's a different girl. One of the things I didn't like about this movie when it came out, there's also a werewolf and like a Renfield guy in the vampire entourage. The Renfield guy is that he's like the bounty hunter from the X-Files, that big dude.
Oh.
You know him. He's in a million things.
Okay.
Let me see. I've got his name here.
Brian Thompson?
Yes, Brian Thompson. And the guy who played the werewolf is John Grease. He is the uncle from Napoleon Dynamite, the uncle with the football.
Oh yeah, I just saw him on there. He's got the light sideburns.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he's like the comic relief werewolf. And I'm looking at him going, this guy's so familiar, but it's not just from Napoleon Dynamite.
Right.
I look up, he was also the werewolf in Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Wolfman's got nards.
Typecast.
So yeah, Uncle Rico was a werewolf twice in the in the 80s.
Uncle Rico. Is that the guy who had long hair?
In Fright Night,
he was the guy that was obsessed with his good old days back in high school playing football.
with football.
He didn't have long hair, no. He had like
He had like a van.
He drove a van.
I've only seen that movie once. So.
Anyway, so this again, kind of a rehash of Fright Night, and not quite as funny. It's trying a little too hard in places, and you just don't have the magic of the first one. However, in going back and watching it, man, you really appreciate how great Roddy McDowell is. Every time he's on screen as Peter Vincent, you're just like, yes, more of this.
Nice.
The rest, now, there's not really an Evil Ed character, but Charlie does have a friend who's kind of this guy, like a swinger kind of dude. And his voice, it's like that voice. I know that voice. Merrick Buttrick. It's the guy who played Captain Kirk's son in Wrath of Khan.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
So he was another character actor guy.
What was his last name?
Butrick. Buttrick.
Oh, I thought you said butt wreck.
No, Buttrick.
And I said that's ironic because the guy who played the original guy is a gay porn star.
Oh, Evil Ed.
Right.
I remember hearing that years ago and being like, "What?"
Yeah.
He was there at the
Buttrick.
reunion when they did a table read of Fright Night recently, and I think Evil Ed was there. So
Oh,
he hasn't gone the way of the Saved by the Bell guy.
What?
Didn't
You
Dustin
mean
Diamond
dead?
have some problems?
He's dead.
He's dead. Like Evil Ed's life was heading that way, but
That's a weird way of saying he's not dead.
I think Dustin Diamond went down several similar roads. I don't know about. I don't know.
No idea. that's funny.
Anywho, if you're looking to rewatch it, it's on YouTube. Check it out.
All right, I'm going to quickly talk about a movie that we have coming up on So Bad It's Good, just so I can tell people ahead of time that you guys need to watch this. This is called Hellmaster. I had never heard of it. I picked it because John Saxon was in it. I thought, what the hell? I could watch a John Saxon movie.
Yeah. Love him.
This movie looks phenomenal. At the very beginning, we were like, did we pick a good movie by accident? Because this looks amazing. And then about 10 minutes in, we're like, what's going on? 20 minutes in, we're completely lost. And by the end of the movie, I don't know what the hell happened or who's doing what, why. This movie is wild. So this is like a grab a beer kind of movie for sure. But it looks good the whole time. Like the imagery in this is really freaking neat. I try to explain it, but John Saxon is injecting people with something that turns them into zombies or melts their brains. So people are driving around a bus dressed as nuns, killing people until they end up at a school where John Saxon's making an army of these guys or something. I don't know what he was. I don't know, man.
Getting Phantasm 3 vibes, even from you saying that and from the images there.
Phantasm is way easier to follow than this movie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's really saying something.
Yes. So this movie is wild. So I just want to throw that out there. I think you can find it streaming a couple places. It's definitely worth it. I guarantee John Saxon had absolutely no clue what this movie was about. He showed up, he read his lines, and he went home. Because he would say shit that you're like, what? Like, there's no way he knew what that meant. He just went with it. So,
those actors are just looking for their next job. And what's my job is to read these lines? Give it to me.
Yeah. The Nightmare on Elm Street money must have run out at this point, so he was all in. You guys have anything else?
That's it for me.
Nope.
I'm going to quickly mention a book. The newest I Found book from Ben Farthing came out like a couple days ago called I Found the Boogeyman Under My Brother's Crib. This one is exactly what you think. A 16-year-old girl hears her brother crying at night once, and she goes into his room and sees a weird man holding the baby at the crib. And I think she has a flashlight. She drops it, and by the time she picks it back up, the guy's gone. And then it happens the next night. But the big thing about this is this girl's parents are insane, and they think you only need 5 hours of sleep a night to operate. So she's only had 5 hours of sleep for like the last 3 months every night. So she's not sure if she's hallucinating or if she's actually seeing something. And every time she freaks out when she sees that her parents come in and there's nothing there. So that's kind of the crux of the story of, is she crazy or is the boogeyman actually trying to get her infant brother? Cool story. Of the I Found books, I think there are 5 of them now. This is probably my second or third favorite one. So it's solid. I feel like he's really found a good niche here. I hope he keeps cranking these out. Because it lets him just do bonker shit. It's only 100 pages. He's not trying to do crazy character depth or anything. He gets an insane idea and puts it out there. So, Ben Farthing, well done.
Awesome. Good job, man.
And if that's all we got, it's time for some Cuckoo, baby.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Jack, you saw this a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, you're crazy if you think I remember what this movie's about. Let's see.
Well, that's interesting because it's only you and I who are going to be talking about it.
This family moves to this resort in, like, is it Germany or something?
Yeah, it's Germany. It's German Alps.
And the daughter is a little troubled. They have there's a older sister who's the troubled one. There's a second wife with a younger daughter that the older daughter likes, but there's something weird going on in the hotel, and a lot of weird people start approaching the girl. She gets a job like in the gift shop of the hotel, and there are people like throwing up and chasing her at night and things like that, and it becomes a very bizarre movie. And as you slowly start to discover, there's a lot of cuckoo things going on in this place.
Cuckoo is an apt description of this movie in more ways than one. That is for sure. What you think of it? You saw it in the theater, right?
So I saw this in the theater. I liked it. I thought it got better as it went. Like the first half, I was kind of like, what's going on here? Whatever. And then it gets kind of bananas at the end. And so I enjoyed that. I thought it ended strong. But it's so weird that I had to chew on it for a while to see where it was going to land. And so I like this movie a lot. I think there's a lot to talk about with it. But I don't think it's something I'm going to go back and like rewatch a million times to take apart and analyze and things like that. But I definitely enjoyed it.
I had heard from you, I think you were the only person who knew who watched it, that this movie was really bananas. And it is. But the beginning is kind of a mystery thriller more than anything. Until a bike ride scene. And then it like switches pretty hard into a horror film. That's, I don't know, a third of the way into the movie, maybe a little less. I thought the acting was great. I thought it looked phenomenal. Dan Stevens.
Yeah, he's
kind of like a new horror guy. Well, not even new. It's been like 10 years of this.
He's at this and Abigail, and he was perfect for both the parts.
He did The Guest a while ago. Like he is really good in these roles. He plays the German who owns the resort, and from the moment you see him, you're like, what is this dude's deal? Like, instantly, you're like, this guy's not right. Where it goes is not what I expected at all. But I was into the movie the whole time. My wife didn't love it. I think it's one of those that as she thinks about more, she might like more. But I think the weirdness, she was just like, what? But I dug it. I thought like I said, the imagery, I'm trying to dance around spoilers here.
Yeah.
Some of the imagery that happens throughout, you only get glimpses of, is just...
There are really good scares in this, like that bike scene. And there's a few other, like, very suspenseful moments that really, when they happen, you I think, like, for me, I started to really appreciate the movie more because, like, oh, they know what they're doing here. Like, it's dealing with really bizarre stuff, but it's well done.
Totally agree. And the mystery I was talking about at the beginning, the first, it's probably hour, you have absolutely no clue what is happening. Like shit is getting crazier and crazier, and you're not finding out why. You do eventually, but the first hour, I was just like, what is going on?
Right.
Like, this is getting wild, and I have no clue why. So they did a really good job. And anytime I can get a movie like that, I'm happy. Where I just cannot predict where this is going, I'm happy. Because I feel like most movies that we watch now, it's just, you can tell who's going to die. You know, you have a 50% chance of getting the ending. Like, you couldn't have guessed this.
The ending is so weird, but I thought it was good, which has saved it. Because same thing, halfway through, I'm like, what is going on here? And if they hadn't paid it off, it would, I would have hated this movie. But instead, I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot to unpack, but
Yeah.
to even have you understand what the hell happened is a feat in this movie.
Yes. There were times when he was explaining what's going on, and I was like, "What? That's it? Like, really?" I also wanted to throw out the sound design in this is top shelf, and it works because of what the story is. Sound is very important,
Yes.
and they absolutely nailed it from the very beginning. When you first hear something, you're like, "Was I supposed to be hearing? Like, that was weird." And then it just plays throughout, and it gets better and better and better. So, some of the best sound design of the year.
Between this and The Substance, two exceptional sound movies. And when Oscar season comes, they're not even going to get mentioned. It's so stupid.
Yeah, totally agree.
Is this something that I would enjoy?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, you like weird shit.
Yeah, I do. I didn't want to gamble. I can get 2 months of Shudder for the price of this movie. I don't want to gamble.
I can
$10.
appreciate that. $10 is high
That's steep.
threshold.
Well, it's really good. I would be blown away if this somehow didn't make my top list at the end of the year. I'd be blown away if this wasn't in my top 10. So, I really dug it. Anything else you want to add before we jump to spoilers?
Okay, well, I'm on here, guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Let me
right.
know what we're gonna watch in
I
the
think
meantime.
VHS is this coming week
Oh, is it?
Oh, sweet. Is that going to be
Outstanding.
on probably Shudder?
on
Yeah.
Shudder.
Nice. That's
Excellent.
always fun to talk about.
It's time for the roll of the dice. Is it a good VHS or a bad VHS?
And
Yeah.
Salem's Lot's hitting HBO, so I'll be watching that.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you.
See you, dude.
All right, see you, dude.
guys.
I'm going to watch your creepy couch.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm not.
Oh, I know.
I saw the movie, so I could watch it.
So the end, not even the end. I had no idea what that sound was, and seeing that woman run through the woods, you're like, "What? Is this a vampire? Is this what is this?" I did not expect it's a almost human species that makes a bird-like sound, and makes their offspring like a cuckoo. Sorry, like a cuckoo, and I never in a million years could have predicted that that's what.
And that isn't that the sound what messes people up? It puts them into like a time loopy kind of thing.
Yeah, it messes their brain up and their time loops for them, which is a super cool effect. And the first time it's happening, you're like, I wondered if my movie skipped the first time it happened because it just replayed.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, is this messed up? And then I was like, oh no, this is intentional. Interesting.
And to the cuckoo thing. All right, so first of all, I just watched this Rosemary's Baby movie, the third movie this year about an Antichrist baby. This is actually the second cuckoo-based movie because if you remember Longlegs, there's a whole cuckoo.
Oh, I forgot about
And there's
that.
a whole thing about the cuckoo lays an egg in another bird's nest, and then the other bird raises the cuckoo. And that's the concept of this movie, is that the alien puts its offspring with a human family to raise, and then when it gets older, it takes it back like a cuckoo.
I don't remember that from Longlegs, but now that you're saying it, I do remember watching this movie when they were explaining the offspring thing. Here, let's see if we can change this. The offspring thing, I was like, I knew that. How did I know that? Is that because they mentioned it in Okay, that would explain it.
Listen, it's a stretch for Longlegs because they don't. It's just kind of cursory in that movie. Tertiary, whatever. But in this, it's the whole thing, which I didn't know squat about cuckoos. All I knew was the clock.
I'm kind of becoming an expert at this point.
Yes.
So yeah, I never would have expected that. I did have a question though about this thing's abilities. There's one scene where they get in a car accident. She's running away with the French girl, and they get in a car accident.
Oh yeah.
And the cuckoo woman grabs the French girl and throws her like 30 yards out of the car. But we never see that again. And I was like, was that a dream?
I think it's kind of like, the Hulk, where they say, "Oh, an angry, the adrenaline a mother can lift a car."
Because she never does anything strong after that again, and the French girl shows up at the end healed, like she looks okay, and she drives away with her at the end. So I was like, was she concussed? Like, what happened there? It's been so long, you probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, no. Well, I know. Listen, Tua got a concussion, and he's going to be back in a couple of weeks. So maybe this girl just did the concussion protocol.
Maybe.
And,
Maybe.
Yeah, so the main character girl, Hunter Schafer, also, I mean, she's in like every scene in this movie and has to carry the burden of this insane plot. And she does a great job.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought she went from being unlikable and annoying as a
Yes.
17-year-old to, at the end, you're rooting for her. Like, she's trying to do the right thing. I thought it was a good switch. Because, man, at the beginning, I'm like, God, this is our main character?
That also, you may just, it's an epiphany when you said that. Maybe that's part of why I liked the movie more as it went along, because she becomes more likable as you go along.
She's pretty brutal to root for at the beginning. She's just an angsty teenager.
But when you start getting into the cop and his motivations and Dan Stevens, and then the aliens chasing her, the cop and Dan Stevens are chasing everybody else around. Now they're having a shootout and they're in the middle. Like, that whole ending is a blast. And I mean, you have a lot to keep track of. But like that's a rewatchable, like, last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's really well done. And like you said, there are good scares. They set everything up pretty well, so you understand exactly what the stakes are. Nobody's doing something insane that you would never do. I feel like everything just flowed well.
Actually, know that I at the beginning of this, I said I don't know how often I watch this again, but now I'm thinking maybe when it comes on streaming, but this might be a good one to go back and watch again, because there's a scene in the hotel room when the hooded woman really makes an appearance. It's stuff like that. When it's happening, you can't even really appreciate it because you're like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah, you're like, what? Like, why is everybody reliving the same 5 seconds over and over and over?
Yeah, so maybe watching it a second time, knowing what's going on would benefit. So I think I am going to watch it again. So yeah, I really liked it. But
the main character arc really does help, because she was the biggest problem I had. I was all in on the mystery and everything, but I'm just like, God, this character sucks.
Yeah,
they did a good job. I was really surprised with this. This would have been a good one for me to see in the theater, but I just didn't get to. Weren't we talking about it and it wasn't playing near me? I think that's what it was.
That might be because maybe Hunter too. I can't.
I think he was trying to go and couldn't find it. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Dan Stevens, man.
Stevens.
Coming through.
Yeah. So like I said, this is definitely contender for the list.
Yeah. Solid horror movie. I feel like we're getting it's the year is ramping. We're getting some good shit. So I dug it.
Yeah. So good. Well, I'm glad we. Too bad Hunter, who I'm sure watched it, isn't here, because I bet he loved it.
This feels like a movie he would love, but he's such a wild card. Who the hell knows?
Yeah. As soon as that left my mouth, I was like, he's gonna hate it now.
All right. So this week is VHS 6?
Something like that. VHS Beyond.
Is that what it's called? I have seen absolutely nothing from this. I don't know shit. I didn't even know that was the name of it. You may have told me that once, and I just totally forgot. But VHS Beyond, does that come out probably Friday, right?
That's a good question. Give me a second.
Not that I guess it really matters for people, but free on Shudder, or with your Shudder subscription, I guess would probably be better to say.
Well, that's the thing. Didn't Chad get rid of his Shudder subscription?
I have no idea. I still got mine. I haven't logged into it in God knows how long, but I still got mine.
Hold on. I'll tell you the exact date in a second. It is the 4th. So, yeah, Friday, I think.
Okay, cool. All right. Everybody go watch VHS Beyond. I'm hoping the rap is actually good this time, because
a lot of star power in this one. So,
Oh, that's right. You did read some of the writers and stuff. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Alrighty. Anything else?
That's it for me.
All right, people. We will see you next week for VHS Beyond. Bye-bye.
See y'all.